Dr. Rogers Dow here today with Freeport Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about something you've probably never heard of before called lower cross syndrome. And lower cross syndrome, it's basically a functional pattern that I look for and that we test for to see what's going on and see how your lower back is actually working. And it can lead to other conditions that you're probably very well aware of, things like sciatica, sacroiliac pain, facet syndrome, facet joint pain basically, and just overall lower back symptoms in general. So let's start to it. Basically what we're looking at here is the side view of a spinal model, and the number one cause, in my opinion, what I would say what causes lower cross syndrome is sitting. The new catchphrase in health nowadays is that sitting is the new smoking. And if you don't believe it, it's true. Basically, a sedentary lifestyle is more detrimental to your health than smoking is. So with all the sitting that we do, sitting at your desk, sitting at your computer, driving, that kind of stuff, those are the things that can actually lead to a lower cross syndrome. So let's get started here. When we're sitting, our pelvis basically gets rotated forward. And what happens when that occurs and our joint and our pelvis rotates forward is that this causes the lower back here to arch even more so, okay? So I'm going to over-exaggerate this for you guys to understand this and for you guys to see. So as the pelvis rotates forward, this causes more of an actual arch in your lower back. Now, what happens when that occurs is that our hip flexors, the muscles that are responsible for lifting up our legs and lifting up our knees straight like that, right here, those get very tight. And when they get very tight and very short, things start to occur. And what starts to occur is as those get very short, the muscles in the lower back, the spinal muscles, paraspinal muscles, start to get short too, because as this back arches more, those muscles shorten. So you get this cross pattern from here to here. So there's the cross pattern. Subsequently now, you also get another cross pattern this way, and I'll explain that in just a second. But before that, we have to understand something called oppositional muscles. An oppositional muscle would be something like a bicep and a tricep. Okay, so as we're doing a bicep curl, we're shortening up our bicep, but we're lengthening and actually inhibiting the tricep. Basically, it's not really functioning, okay? And that's what's occurring here too. So the oppositional muscle of the hip flexor would be the gluteus, okay? So when that when that hip flexor is extremely short and tight, it almost inhibits the way that the glute muscles work and the way that they fire and function. Subsequently too, the oppositional muscles of the lower back are the abdominal muscles here in the front, okay? So whenever you're doing a crunch, you're shortening up your abdominal muscles, but you're actually lengthening and you're inhibiting the lower muscles in the lower back. So what's happening, once you have this, like I said, this tight muscle here in the lower back, tight muscle here in the hip flexor, you have this other cross pattern where you have from the abdominal area to the glute. Those are actually weak. So what's happening when these two muscles are actually tight, it's actually causing this cross pattern of a weakness of your gluteus muscle and your abdominal muscles. So that's what we call a lower cross syndrome, and unfortunately that's where it leads to all this kind of dysfunction here, because things aren't working correctly, your muscles aren't firing, your joints aren't going to work correctly, and you're going to start compensating. And those are the type of things that I look for and that we basically try to treat, whether it's through chiropractic adjustments, number one, but also a lot of stretching, some rehab, some strengthening exercises, maybe some muscle stimulation, things like that we try to alleviate these type of symptoms, because it will definitely lead to a number and a cause of other type of lower back issues that we don't want. So that's enough for the video for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you like it, definitely like it, share it with all your friends and family. Be happy to take any questions that you guys have. Give the office a call, and we're here to help. So thanks a lot for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.